Hello everyone, this is Al Red Sox Fan coming to you from Al Red Sox Fan YouTube station, and we are going to continue with our Retro Replay 1982 NFL football using Action PC Football. And we are in the playoffs. This is our third game in the playoffs, and it will pit the Seattle Seahawks, who are then in the AFC. With a record of 5-4, they finished second in the NFC West against the number 2 seeded Cincinnati Bengals, who won the AFC Central in the Retro Replay, 8-1. Seattle is the 7 seed, Cincinnati the 2 seed. We got Riverfront Stadium, 20 degrees and clear, wind 20 to 30 miles per hour. As you can see, the frosty turf right here. Let's get to the offensive and defensive lineups. At quarterback for the Seattle Seahawks, Jim Zorn. The running backs are Smith and Brown. Wide receivers, Largent and Johns. Tight end, Metzelaars. Tackles, Boyd and Esink. Guards, Pratt and Bailey. Center, Yarno. For the Cincinnati Bengals, they'll be led out by quarterback Ken Anderson, running backs Johnson and Archie Griffin, the former Heisman Trophy winner. Wide receivers, Collinsworth and Curtis. Tight end, a good one, Dan Ross. At tackles, the Hall of Famer Munoz and Wilson. Guards, Montoya and Lapfin. Center, Bush. For the defense for the Seattle Seahawks, defensive ends Green and Bryant. Defensive tackles Teosop. Oh wow, I'm going to have trouble pronouncing his name. Teosop and Hardy. The outside linebackers Schultz and Butler. Inside linebacker Jackson. The cornerbacks Brown and Simpson. The safeties Dufek and Harris. For the Cincinnati Bengals, defensive ends Browner, Edwards. Defensive tackles Whitley and St. Clair. The outside linebackers Williams and Harris. The inside middle linebacker LeClaire. As the defensive tackle St. Clair, Cornerbacks Griffin and Riley. The safeties Kemp and Fuller. The Bengals will most likely be favored at home. Ignore the even line, as they are 8-1. So the Bengals have won the toss and elect to receive. The deep men for Cincinnati. The deep man for Cincinnati, Verser. The short men are Tate and Fuller. So here we go. The playoffs. Retro style 1982 in this strike shortened season. I will be coaching the Seattle Seahawks, the number 7 seed. The computer will be coaching the number 2 Cincinnati Bengals. And here's the kickoff. Here comes Cincinnati on the return. Not much room for Verser. He's tackled by McAllister at the 17. That's a 13-yard return. So, split backfield for the Bengals. Anderson under center. Pete Johnson and Archie Griffin in the backfield. You have Collinsworth and Curtis, the wideouts, and Ross, the tight end, on the lower portion of the screen. We're going to come out and play a 4-3. And we're going to play run. Pete Johnson, he's got a lot of room there. Gain of 6 brought down by Tio Asosopo. A great block by Anthony Munoz on the trap left. Brings up 2nd and 4 from the Bengals 23. We're going to move Harris up in run support and play basic. It's a screen to Johnson. And he is quickly nailed by Jackson in the backfield. A big pop by Michael Jackson. No, not the man with the one glove, but the defender for the Seattle Seahawks. That is a loss of 1. That play was sniffed out. Now 3rd and 5 on the Cincinnati 22. Seattle has 3 wideouts. Curtis, Collinsworth, and the 3rd wideout, Kreider. 1 back, that's Pete Johnson. Anderson under center. And we're going to go with a 3-3 nickel. And we're going to play a short zone. And we'll play our defensive line in. Who's our outside linebacker down here? Schultz. Keith Butler. And we're going to send Butler on the blitz. And we're going to play pass. Anderson back to pass. They set the screen up. And brought down short of the first down is Pete Johnson. As that's only a gain of 3. Tackle by Dave Brown for the Seahawks. It's 4th and 2. And Seattle will force Cincinnati to punt on the 3 and out. We will go with a punt return. Here's the punt. Seattle with a fair catch. Johns calls for the fair catch on the McNally punt. 48 yards. So here comes the Seattle offense led by Jim Zorn. They'll start 1st and 10 on their own 27. So Zorn under center. Split backfielders Smith and Brown. Wideouts Paul Johns and the Hall of Famer Steve Largent. Tight end Metzelaars. We're going to go play action fake, Metzelaars, short cross. And that is a hookup for 10 yards. Zorn to Metzelaars, 1st and 10 on the Seattle 37. We're going to go Smith. Dive with Smith. And he picks up 2 tough yards, tackled by Ross Browner. So we'll bring up 2nd and 8 on the Seattle 39. Largent. Short cross to Steve Largent. And that is incomplete. Whitley bats that ball down. They're looking for Zorn, and Whitley just said return to sender. So 3rd and 8. Ball on the 39. 11:01 to go here in the first quarter. Four, 2. Sherman Smith. Gonna go screen to Sherman Smith. There's a nice play. That's a big play for Sherman Smith. As he had blockers out in front of him. That is a gain of 29 on the marvelously executed screenplay by the Seattle Seahawks. It is 1st and 10 on the Cincinnati 32. Finally brought down by Oliver Davis of the Bengals. So 1st and 10. Seahawks in Cincinnati territory. 10:46 to go here in the first quarter. Go trap left with Smith. Smith, tough 2 yards. Ross Browner on his tackle. That's his 2nd tackle of the game for Cincinnati. Brings up 2nd and 8 for Seattle. And let's give Smith a breather here. We're going to bring in Hughes. So Hughes in the backfield now. Theodis Brown. Sweep left with Theodis Brown. He gets around the corner, but is pushed out of bounds by Ross Browner. That's his 3rd tackle. He picks up 5, though. And it's going to be 3rd and 3 on the Cincinnati 25-yard line. Let's go Hughes on the dive. Hughes gets it, and he is smothered after a 1-yard gain, brought down by Eddie Edwards. So it brings up 4th and 2. A field goal here is only 54% for Seattle and Norm Johnson. So it's 4th and 2 on the 24. We're going to go for it. We're going to go screen to use. Zorn back to pass. Incomplete. As Riley jumped the route and deflects the ball away. Turnover on downs. I was surprised Norm Johnson from that range was only 54%. So Cincinnati takes over on downs at their own 24-yard line. 8:18 to go here in the first quarter. Anderson in shotgun. Split backfield of Johnson and Archie Griffin, former Heisman Trophy winner. Wideouts Curtis Collinsworth. And the tight end Ross now at the top of your screen. We're going to go with a 3-4 basic. Anderson back to pass over the middle. A pickup of 27 yards as he hits the tight end. Finally brought down by Dufek. So 1st and 10 on the Seattle 49-yard line. Big play for the Bengals. Again, Anderson stays in shotgun. We're going to stay in basic. Anderson back to pass. He gives it to Johnson, though. And Johnson goes off tackle right for a gain of 6. 2nd and 4. Anderson comes under center. Bengals stick with the split backfield. We're going to go back to a 4-3. Short zone run. Johnson is brought down. No, he just gets enough for the first down. As he was gang tackled, but he gains 4 on the pitch left. Michael Jackson credited with his 2nd tackle of the game. It's 1st and 10 on the Seattle 39-yard line. 6:40 to go here in the first quarter. We're going to show blitz. Short zone run. It's a pass over the middle, and once again, Ross blitzed the opening. Another gain of 27. It's now 1st and 10 on the Seattle 12. Once again, Don Dufek drags Ross down after a huge gain. Go 3-3. Then go 3-4 basic. Run. Anderson again back to pass over the middle, but this time his pass is not there. Curtis dives for it, and it's off his hands. So they've been working that middle pretty hard against Seattle. Bring up 2nd and 10 from the 12. No score here. A field goal attempt for the Bengals, 97%. We'll stay in our 3-4. Zone pass. Again, Anderson back to pass, and that is a touchdown. Extra point is good. The Bengals take a 7-0 lead with 5:04 to go here in the first quarter. Let's go back a second. Anderson, that was to Curtis. Breach with the extra point, 7-0. So Cincinnati will kick off. Breach and the kickoff team on the field. Back deep for the Seattle Seahawks lane, the short men Ivory and Johns. So after taking over on down from Seattle, Cincinnati marches down on 6 plays, 76 yards, 3 minutes and 14 seconds. Most of it was predominantly pass. We'll put the return on. Here's the kickoff. It's 1 yard deep. Lane will return it. Here comes Lane, and he doesn't find a lane as he's brought down at the 13, a gain of 14 yards. Seattle will start 1st and 10 from the 13. Zorn back under center, split backfield. Smith coming back in the game for use. We're going to go screen to Smith. Here's a hookup, and that is a gain of 14 yards. Zorn to Smith. Smith now has 2 catches for 43 yards. It is First and 10 on the Seattle 27. We're going to go short and quick to Largent. And Largent picks up 8 yards, brought down by Ken Riley. That's his first tackle. It'll be 2nd and 2, 4:02 to go here in the first quarter. We're going to dive to Theodis Brown. Brown has a first down and a couple more. Gain of 4 on the dive play. Tackle by Ross Browner of the Bengals. That's tackle number 4 for Mr. Browner. First and 10 on the Seattle 39. Paul Johns. Go short and quick to Johns. And that's a quick hitter for 5 yards, brought down by Kemp. Bobby Kemp, that's 4 tackles for him on the game. It's 2nd and 5, 2:40 to go here in the first quarter. Ball in the Seattle 44. We're going to put Sherman Smith out wide. Draw Brown. And Brown picks up 2. Tackled by Bo Harris. He'll bring up 3rd and 3 as Seattle's almost at midfield. They're on their own 46. 2:01 to go here in the first quarter. Largent. Short cross to Steve Largent. Incomplete. Zorn had him, but couldn't hook up. Bad pass. Oh, wow. Largent was open. Zorn missed him. It's 4th and 3 at the 46, and Seattle will punt. So the drive stalls out near midfield. Jeff West coming out to punt. Deep man for Cincinnati is Fuller. Seattle will punt deep. Here's the punt. It's angled, though, and quickly brought down after a 2-yard gain is Fuller. Nice tackle by Butler. Cincinnati to start 1st and 10 on their 24. 1:16 to go here in the first quarter. Cincinnati leads Seattle 7-0 here in this playoff game, retro style, 1982. We're going to go with a 4-3 short zone run. Anderson gives it to Pete Johnson, who barrels forward for 5 yards and is brought down by Jeff Bryant. That's tackle number 2 for Bryant. 2nd and 5. Clock running. 1:09 to go here in the first quarter. We're going to play zone basic. And again, the ball's given to Johnson. He is whacked by 2 Seattle defenders. Jacob Green, we get credit for the tackle, but a big hit put on after just a 1-yard gain by Pete Johnson. Clock is running, and that will be the end of the first quarter. 7-0 Bengals. We move on to the second quarter. It's 3rd and 4. Bengals with their ball on their own 30. Going to go 3-4. Oh, wow. How many wideouts they have? They've gone to 3 wideouts. So we're going to go 3-3 nickel. I accidentally clicked on the 3-4. They're going to give the ball to Pete Johnson. They're going to give it to Johnson on either a draw or a dive. You know what? We're gonna go back to our 3-4 zone basic. Back to pass, and it is complete. Robinson pulls down Curtis, but it's after a 13-yard gain as they spread out the defense, but still threw the ball. So 1st and 10 on the Cincinnati 43. I formation. Griffin the up back, Johnson behind him. 2 wideouts, 1 tight end. Ross at the top of the screen. 3-4 defense for the Seattle Seahawks. We're going to play our defensive line in. Short zone. Run. And back to pass and hitting Ross for a pickup of 10 on the medium hitch is Kenny Anderson. Once again, the Bengals are on the march. They're now on the Seattle 47-yard line. 1st and 10. Go 4-3. Basic. Anderson back to pass. It's intercepted! A huge play for Seattle, bringing the Cincinnati Bengals drive to an end. The pickoff is by John Harris. He smelled that play out It was a long cross to Chris Collinsworth. And Seattle was Johnny on the spot. Harris with the interception. Return of 13 yards. So this is the big play that the Seahawks needed. 1st and 10 on their own 37. 13-19 to go in the half. They trail by 7 here at Riverfront Stadium. Short slant. Steve Largent. Zorn back to pass. He hits Largent. Pickup of 9. Just brought down before the first down by Bo Harris. That's Bo Harris' second tackle. Brings up 2nd and 1. And again, we're going to go short slant. Steve Largent. And again, another pickup. 10 yards. Seattle now moves into Cincinnati territory on their 44. Largent, 3 receptions, 27 yards. Smith. Screen out of the backfield. Oh, he had blockers in front of him, but St. Clair tipped the ball away, breaking up the play. 2nd and 10 now for Seattle, trailing by 7. 11:49 to go here in that before the half. With Theodis Brown out wide. Play action. Going to look for Metzelar, our tight end. On the short cross. They're keying that. We're going to go medium fly to Largent. Zorn takes off running, and he picks up 9 yards. He's short by 1 yard on the scramble. Reggie Williams on the tackle. It brings up 3rd and 1. Zorn felt the pressure and got away from the pass rush. So 3rd and 1. Smith will go out wide. Zorn. Quarterback sneak with Zorn. And he picks up the first down. It was close, but they measure, and he just gets it. So 1st and 10, ball on the Bengals' 34-yard line. Seattle's current drive, 5 plays, 29 yards, 2 minutes and 22 seconds. Mike Sinclair is credited with the tackle for the Bengals. Let's go short. Let's go screen. Screen to Johns. The setup, and Johns picks up 12 yards on the screen. That's Paul Johns' 2nd reception for 17 yards. 1st and 10 on the Cincinnati 22. Field goal from this distance, 82% chance of success. Seattle doesn't want to settle for a field goal. They're looking to try to tie this game. As D. Scott Howard has joined us in the chat, he says, "Good morning, Al. Go Hawks. I am coaching the Seattle Seahawks." So let's try short and quick to Largent. Zorn back to pass, and that is a pickup of 7. Jim LeClaire, the linebacker, on the hit. 2nd and 3, 9:22 to go here in the half. Clock running. Ball on the Cincinnati 15. We're going to go draw to Smith. And Smith, no gain, smothered at the line of scrimmage from a plethora of Bengals tacklers. The tackle will be credited to Bo Harris, tackle number 3. I shall be back in a moment. And we are back. Thank you for your patience. All right, so it's 3rd and 3 ball on the Cincinnati 15. The Seahawks trailing by 7. And let's do medium cross. Largent. Zorn takes off running and he scrambles in for a touchdown! Once again, Jim Zorn with a clutch scramble. And Seattle is an extra point away from tying up this playoff game here at Riverfront Stadium. Jim Zorn, feeling the pressure, goes right up the middle for the touchdown. He now has 3 rushes for 25 yards and a touchdown. Here comes the extra point team. And it's good. Norm Johnson with the extra points. Now 7-7 with 7:59 to go here in the half. What a drive by Seattle. A lot of clutch performance by Jim Zorn and the Seattle Seahawks. 9 plays, 63 yards, 5 minutes and 20 seconds to tie up the ball game. Johnson getting set to kick off. Verser, the deep man. The short men for Cincinnati, Tate and Fuller. Here's the deep ball. And it's down in the end zone. Cincinnati will start 1st and 10 in this tie ball game at their 20. I formation, Kenny Anderson under center. Griffin the up back, Johnson behind him. The wideouts Curtis and Collinsworth. The tight end Ross on the lower portion of your screen. Seattle in a 4-3. Gonna play run. It's a screen to Archie Griffin. And he's brought down after a 9-yard gain. Michael Jackson with his 3rd tackle for Seattle brings up 2nd and 1 on the Cincinnati 29. We're going to send both of our outside backers on a delay blitz. Short zone basic. And Pete Johnson busts through the middle. Gain of 6 on the trap left. Keith Simpson with his 1st tackle for Seattle. And that's a 1st down. 6:59 to go here in the half. 7-7 ball game. Switch to a 3-4 basic. Zone pass. And Anderson will call a timeout. Didn't like what he saw there. Well, thank you for stopping by, D. Scott Howard, and good luck to your alma mater, Western Washington University, and the women's soccer team. NCAA Division II National Championship for their 38th straight win. I wish them great success and good luck. Have a good time and be safe, my friend. All right, 1st and 10. Split backfield for Cincinnati. I'm going to play run. Griffin is smothered on the sweep right. No gain. Brought down by Michael Jackson. He's all over the place. That's tackle number 4 for Mr. Jackson. Brings up 2nd and 10. 6:17 to go here in the half in a tie ball game. 7-7. I formation for Cincinnati. Bring our defensive line in. Zone pass. Johnson, and he picks up 7 off tackle left. Shelton Robinson on the stop for the Seattle Seahawks brings up a very important 3rd and 3 ball in the Cincinnati 42. Clock running. 5:33 to go here in the 1st half. Going to go 4-3. 4-3. Short zone. Pass. Anderson back to pass. He fires, and it is caught by Collinsworth on the medium out. And Dufek forces him out of bounds, but it's a gain of 11. 1st and 10. Ball on the Seattle 47-yard line. 5:51 to go. Clock has stopped. I formation for Cincinnati. Seattle in their 4-3. Again, we'll play pass. Again, Anderson back to pass. He dumps it down to Johnson, who rumbles forward for 9 yards, and there Johnny on the spot. Michael Jackson, unfortunately, it's 9 yards too late. That's tackle number 5 for Thriller. So 2nd and 1, 4:05, clock running. Ball on the Seattle 38, 7-7. 4-3 for the Seahawks. They'll play their defensive line in. Now they go to a split backfield, Cincinnati. Go short zone. Run. And Johnson! The initial hit had him short, but he's able to rumble forward, and he picks up 2 yards. It's 1st and 10 on the Seattle 36, brought down by Manu Tuioasosopo. Tackle number 2 for Manu. 3:24 to go in the half. 7-7 ball game. Retro 1982 playoffs after I played the season. I formation for Cincinnati. We're going to play our defensive line in. And we're going to blitz Butler. And we're going to play pass. And Anderson takes off running. And he picks up 13 yards. He says, if, hey, Jim Zorn can do it, so can I. It's now 1st and 10 on the Seattle 23, 2:36 to go. Clock running. The Seahawks will not call timeout. Again, split backfield, no huddle. No huddle for Cincinnati. Player defensive line out. Going to blitz Schultz. Going to play man. Going to double Ross on the medium. Pass. And it's a give to Pete Johnson, and he rips up the middle for 14 yards on the dive play. Finally brought down by Keith Simpson. That's his 2nd tackle for Seattle. 2:12 to go in the half. Seattle will not call timeout. Clock is running. Cincinnati rushes up to the line. 1st and goal from the 9. We'll play goal line. And they don't get the playoff. It's the 2-minute warning. Cincinnati now spreads the field with 4 wideouts. And Pete Johnson, the lone back behind Anderson, who's under center. We'll match that with a 4-1 dime. And we're going to play basic. Anderson back to pass. He dumps it to the outside. Gain of 6. Kreider on the reception. That's his first reception for 6 yards. It's now 2nd and goal. Ball on the Seattle 3-yard line. 1:53 to go here. And again, 4 wideouts as they stretch everything out, the Bengals do. 4-1. I don't think it's going to let us play goal line with our setup. And we're actually going to switch. We're going to go 3-4. Defensive line in. Run. And there goes Johnson. And he is smothered for no gain. Big hit by Jacob Green as we sniff that play out. It's now 3rd and goal. Clock running. We're not going to call timeout. Clock is running. 1:44 to go. It's 3rd and goal. Once again, 4 wideouts. Anderson in shotgun. We're going to stick with our 3-4 defensive line in. Basic. Anderson back to pass. He throws over the middle. Johnson has it. Touchdown, extra point by Breach. And Cincinnati takes the lead 14-7 with 1:23 to go here in the half. Excellent drive by the Bengals. 12 plays, 80 yards, chewed up 6:36 of clock. Mixed up their plays quite well. We'll have the return on. Breach with the kickoff. And here's the return. Not much on it at all as Ivory slips and falls and is touchdown at the 14. So some poor footing here on this slick field, as you can see right down here. So 1st and 16, Seattle has all of their timeouts. That would be 3. Zorn under center, split backfield. We're going to go long slant to Steve Largent. Zorn with time. He fires and it is complete. A gain of 30 on the long slant. Brought down by Ken Riley. 1st and 10 on the Seattle 44, and the Seahawks will call timeout. That will leave them with 2. The clock stops. 1:07 to go before the half. We're going to go with Sherman Smith. Screen to Smith. And there's a huge gain! Gain of 23, finally tracked down from behind by LeClaire. Sherman Smith, 3 receptions, 66 yards, 54 seconds to go here in the half. And once again, the Seahawks will call timeout. And Seattle, 2 plays, they've moved 53 yards in 22 seconds. They have 1 timeout left. They go long slant to Largent. Zorn with time to throw. Touchdown to Largent! 3 plays, 86 yards. It only took him 37 seconds. What a pitch and catch by Zorn and Largent. Seattle an extra point away from tying it up with 39 seconds to go before the half. And here comes Norm Johnson and the kick team out on the field. Here's the extra point. And he misses it! Oh my God. Oh my God. Norm Johnson shanks it, as the computer loves to cheat when I play it. It's now 14-13. That's going to come back to haunt them, that's for sure. 39 seconds to go. Seattle to kick deep, and it's down in the end zone. Again, the Bengals come out with 4 wideouts and just the lone running back, Pete Johnson, behind Ken Anderson, who's under center. I can't believe I have the worst luck with kickers in this game. He misses an extra point. So we're going to go 4-1 dime. Cincinnati has 2 timeouts. Going to play a deep zone pass. It's given to Johnson, and he's brought down after a 3-yard gain. Tackle by Dave Brown. That's his 3rd tackle. We're not calling timeout. Clock's running. I don't think they're going to actually call a play. But we'll stay in our 4-1 dime deep zone. And pass. It's a pitch out to Pete Johnson. It's a gain of 12, but that's the half. Tackle by Dave Brown. So, after a half of football in this playoff game between the number 2 seeded Cincinnati Bengals, the Central Division champions at 8-1, and the number 7 seeded Seattle Seahawks, who are 2nd out west in the AFC at 5-4, Seattle trails by 1 here at Riverfront Stadium, thanks to a Norm Johnson missed extra point. So Seattle will receive the ball here in the second half. We'll put the return on. Here's the kickoff, and here comes the return. And that's a pretty good one, 24-yard return. Seattle will start 1st and 10. Eric Lane on the return. On their 28. Again, Zorn under center. The wideouts are Paul Johns and Steve Largent, who had a huge first half. The backs are Theodis Brown and Sherman Smith in the split formation. We're going to go Brown, screen to Theodis Brown. They cannot connect up on the screen. He had a convoy in front of him, but Zorn could not complete the pass. Jim Zorn, is 12 of 17 for 190 yards and a touchdown to Steve Largent. Brings up 2nd and 10. Seattle trailing by 1 here in the third quarter. Short out, Largent. And it's caught. Gain of 7. Pushed out of bounds by Harris. And that went to Theodis Brown there, as Largent was well covered. So Zorn hit Brown out of the backfield. Brings up a very manageable 3rd and 3 on the Seattle 35-yard line. Short slant to Largent. And it's complete, and a pickup of 19 yards. That's Largent's 7th catch for 116 yards and a touchdown. Another clutch pitch and catch from Zorn to Largent. Hello, Higher Ground Gaming with Eric. How are you, Mr. Brody and Miss Mags? Remember to check out Higher Ground Gaming, excellent retro sports channel. So 1st and 10, ball in the Cincinnati 46. Seattle down by 1. We're going to go screen to Smith. And that is no gain as LeClaire sniffs that out for Seattle. Tackle number 3 for Jim LeClaire. Brings up 2nd and 10. Once to the well, too often we went. Current drive, 4 plays, 26 yards, a minute 11. There you go. Play action fake. Brown. Pitch left. There it is. Brown gets around the corner and he's dragged down. 1 yard short. A gain of 9. The play action fake froze the linebackers. The quick pitch to the left. Brown picks up 9 yards. Tackle by Jim LeClaire. That's number 4 for LeClaire. Brings up 3rd and 1. Ball on the Cincinnati 37-yard line. And we're going to go 4 wideouts, 1 tight end. Zorn, sneak. And Zorn picks up the first down. We spread them out and Zorn runs the sneak up the middle. It's now 1st and 10 on the Cincinnati 36. Back to our 2 wideouts, 2 running backs, 1 tight end. Metzler at the top of the screen. But Theodis Brown out wide. Oh, but Sherman out wide, sorry. Smith. Oh, Brown out wide. Smith, dive. They're keying that. Short slant to Largent. And what? Oh, it's a fumble! Oh, no! Zorn couldn't find Largent. He dumped it to Smith. He picked up about 4 yards, and it was stripped by Harris. Cincinnati recovers the ball. Bo Harris with a huge play. Fumble recovery by Edwards. The Seattle drive is snuffed out. Kenny Anderson and the Bengals offense takes over. 1st and 10 on their own 30 with a 1-point lead with 11:36 to go here in the third quarter. As Eric from Higher Ground Gaming says, happy super fragilistic Saturday. Absolutely, same to you, my friend. That was a horrible turnover by the Seahawks. So 1st and 10, 3 wide out. No, Archie Griffin out wide. Nope, they went split backfield now. They changed it up a couple of times. We're in a 4-3. We're going to go to a 3-4. Defensive line in. Short zone run. And Pete Johnson brought down. No gain. Huge hit by Sheldon Robinson. Tackle number 4. That knocked Johnson backwards. So it's 2nd and 10 on the 30. Seattle's defense wants to come up big after the turnover by the offense, as Zorn had it clicking, but the fumble, very costly. We're going to stay in a 3-4. Again, defensive line in. Zone. Pass. Archie Griffin tries to go around the corner, and he's brought down for no gain. Tackle by Jerry Bryant. Tackle number 3. Griffin, 2 rushes, no yards. As a sweep right went nowhere. Brings up 3rd and 10. 2 wideouts, 1 tight end. Split backfield of Griffin and Johnson. We're going to go 3-3 nickel. Zone. We're going to send... Where's Butler? Is Butler on here? Collinsworth is here. We're going to send Butler on the blitz. Pass. Here comes Butler. Anderson with time. No place to go. He's got to dump it down. And that's only for a 4-yard gain. Archie Griffin. Tackle by Kerry Justin. That's tackle number 2. So Seattle holds after the turnover and will force the punt. We'll put the punt return on. Here's the punt. And
holding, receiving team, 10-yard penalty.
No, holding call. And that's going to push them back after only a punt of 36 yards. The holding was on Justin. So with that penalty, Seattle will start 1st and 10 on their 20. That was Pat McNally's 2nd punt. He has 2 punts for 84 yards. Paul Johns on the punt return for no yards and then the penalty. So here comes Jim Zorn in the Seattle offense, trailing by 1 with 9:21 to go here in the 3rd quarter, 14-13. Zorn, 16 of 21 for 222 yards and a touchdown to Steve Largent. Largent, 7 receptions for 116 yards. Smith, 5 receptions for 72 yards. Seattle hasn't really been able to get a run game going, though they weren't known for a run game. All right, here we go. Let's go Metzelaars. Short cross to the tight end. And it's there for a pickup of 7. Brought down by Ken Riley. Brings second and 3 for Seattle on their 27-yard line. Draw to Theodis Brown. And Zorn doesn't like what he sees. Medium fly to Largent. Incomplete. He couldn't get the ball to Largent. He tried to check it down to Brown, but it's incomplete. Good defense there by the Bengals. Brings up 3rd and 3. 8:38 to go here in the 3rd quarter. Short and quick to Largent. And there it is, a pickup of a 1st down. That's a 7-yard gain. Steve Largent now has 8 catches for 123 yards. 1st and 10. The drive continues. Screen to Theodis Brown. And that is a pickup of 14 yards, and he's forced out of bounds by Bo Harris. Tackle number 6. For Bo Harris, as they were doubling Largent. And the screen picks up a huge gain. It's now 1st and 10 on the Seattle 48-yard line. Johns is at 93, so let's get Johns out. And let's bring Carr in. Carr was really a speedy wide receiver when he was with the Colts, but this is later on in his career. Short and quick to Carr. But Carr is covered. Zorn checks down to Brown, who picks up 5 yards, and another Johnny-on-the-spot tackle by Bo Harris. He now has 7 tackles for Cincinnati. As Eric from Higher Ground Gaming is playing some inside-the-paint basketball, Knicks at the Hawks from 85-86 off camera. What's the score there, Mr. Eric? So 2nd and 5. Zorn back under center. Split backfield. And we're going to go screen to Sherman Smith. And that's going to be a big pickup of 11 yards. Kemp missed the tackle. Smith rumbled for a couple more yards. Ray Griffin finally brings him down. 1st and 10, 6:44 to go here in the 3rd quarter on the Cincinnati 36-yard line. Seattle trailing by 1, 14-13, thanks to the Norm Johnson missed extra point. The computer loves to have me miss extra points and short field goals. Let's go with a screen to Metzelars. So we're back to pass.
Pass interference.
And there's a pass interference call as Kemp was all over Metzelars.
Automatic first down.
So that's a 5-yard penalty and an automatic first down. So that screen to the tight end sort of messed up Cincinnati's defense. They didn't react well to it, as you saw the pass interference. So 1st and 10 on the Cincinnati 31. This current drive for the Seahawks, 7 plays, 49 yards. They're looking to upset the 8-1 Bengals here in the playoffs at Riverfront Stadium. We're going to put Sherman Smith out wide. Give him a little different look here. And we're going to go short hitch to Sherman Smith. It's not open. He tries to dump it to Brown, and it's incomplete. As Zorn was getting hit, he's able to get the pass off, so he saves himself from the sack, but it brings up 2nd and 10. So a good play there by Zorn not to get the sack. Jim Zorn now 21 of 28 for 266 yards and a touchdown to Steve Largent. A field goal from here for Mr. Norm Johnson, who missed the extra point. 74% chance of accuracy. 2nd and 10, 5:59 to go in the 3rd quarter. We're going to go screen to Theodis Brown. Good setup there. 1st down and more. Gain of 17. Finally spun down by Jim LeClaire. That's LeClaire's 5th tackle for the Bengals. And Zorn now 22 of 29 for 283 yards as he approaches a 300-yard mark. 1st and 10 on the Cincinnati 14-yard line. We're going to go draw to Brown. They're keying that. We're going to go medium fly to Carr. It's not open. Zorn tries to go to Metzelar. Incomplete. Brings up 2nd and 10. 5:02 left in the 3rd quarter. Seattle trailing by 1, 14-13. 2nd and 10. Medium fly to Carr. Again not open. Again Zorn tries to dump it down. Incomplete. 3rd and 10. A field goal here for Norm Johnson. 94%. We're going to put Zorn in shotgun. 3 wideouts, 1 running back. Sherman Smith. The extra wideout, so we have Largent, Carr at the top, and Johns at the bottom. We're going to go screen to Smith. It's a setup and it's incomplete. LeClaire was there to break up that play with good coverage. And it's 4th and 10, and here comes Norm Johnson and the field goal team, looking to give Seattle a 2-point lead here. 94% chance of making it. Here's the kick. And it's good! Seattle takes the lead with 4:42 to go here in the third quarter, 16-14. That Seahawk drive, 13 plays, 66 yards, chewed up 4 minutes and 36 seconds of clock. Seattle will kick deep. Verser, the deep man for Cincinnati. The short men are Tate and Fuller. Here's the kickoff by Norm Johnson. It's in the end zone. The Bengals will start 1st and 10 on their 20. Split backfield. Anderson under center. Seattle in a 4-3. Going to play run. Anderson takes off on the scramble, and he picks up 8 yards. Whipped down by Green. Tackle number 3 for Jacob Green. Has tremendous pressure by the Seattle front 7, but Anderson is able to slip away. An excellent block by Blair Bush. The original play was a long fly to Collinsworth. So it's 2nd and 2 on the 28. We'll stay with our 4-3 short zone run. And, oh wow, a big hit by Tuyo Asasopo. Pete Johnson got blown up on that play. It brings up a loss of 1 and 3rd and 3. Johnson now 14 carries, 65 yards. Tio Asasopo's 3rd tackle. That was a huge hit. I mean, he just wrecked Pete Johnson. 3rd and 3 now. Anderson under center. Split backfield of Johnson and Griffin. Wide outs Collinsworth and Isaac. Ross, the tight end, split out wide to the lower portion of your screen. I'm guessing they're going to go to Ross here. We're going to play a short zone. 3rd and 3. Run. Anderson's a quick hitter. It was a quick hitter to Curtis, a gain of 9. The tackle came quickly by John Harris. That's his first tackle. So Seattle gives up that 3rd down. It's now 1st and 10 for Cincinnati on their own 36-yard line. Curtis now has 3 receptions for 34 yards and a touchdown. 3:14 to go here in the third quarter. We're going to go 3-4, defensive line in, zone basic. Anderson back to pass over the middle to Ross, and that is a gain of 12 on the medium cross. Dan Ross now 4 receptions, 76 yards, brought down by Shelton Robinson, tackle number 5 for Robinson. Welcome to Mr. Robinson's neighborhood. 2:31 to go here in the third quarter. Cincinnati trailing by 2, 16-14. Playoff game. Retro replay 1982. After I played the season. All right, let's go. Defensive line in. Run. Johnson trying to get around the corner. He picks up 4. Bruce Schultz on the tackle. Tackle number 1 by Schultz. 2nd and 6. Cincinnati penetrates Seattle's side of the field. They're on their 48. I formation. We're going to go back to a 4-3. Short zone. Basic. Anderson back to pass over the middle. It's a fumble! As Dufek destroyed Ross on the hit. Brown recovers and Seattle makes a huge defensive stop. What a banging hit by Dan Dufek on Dan Ross. Wow! Ross groggy coming off the field. Recovery by Brown. So with 1:10 to play in the third quarter, Seattle maintains at this point in time their 2-point lead, 16-14, thanks to the turnover. Zorn back out on the field, split backfield. Carr's at 95. Let's bring Johns back in. And let's bring Hughes in for Theodis Brown. Let's go dive to Hughes. Hughes up the middle for 2. Brings up 2nd and 8. Clock running. 1:05 to go in the third quarter. Let's go play action fake. Draw. Hughes. And there goes Hughes, and that's a gain of 5. And that will be it for the end of the third quarter. We go to the final 15 minutes here at Riverfront Stadium. The upset-minded Seattle Seahawks 16. The Central Division champions Cincinnati Bengals at 8-1, 14. Each team playing 15 minutes for their playoff lives here. So it's 3rd and 3, ball on the Seattle 46-yard line. Start of the fourth quarter. Sherman Smith on the screen. Here's the setup and the first down, gain of 10, tackle by Riley for Cincinnati. That's Smith's 7th reception for 93 yards. The ball is now on the Bengals' 44-yard line. This current Seahawk drive, 3 plays, 17 yards. 1st and 10. Let's go short and quick. Short and quick to Largent. And that's a 9-yard pickup. Short of the sticks by inches. As Largent now has 9 receptions, 133 yards, and 1 touchdown. So it's 2nd and inches on the Cincinnati 34-yard line. We're going to go play action fake. Medium fly. Largent. Oh, that's a fumble! As Zorn was hit on the hit by Edwards, but Bailey recovers it, averting a disaster. So we went from 2nd and inches to 3rd and 8 as we were trying to go over the top to Largent. Oh, man. And it brings up a 3rd and 8. Eddie Edwards is credited with a sack there. So 3rd and 8. We're going to go screen. We're going to go screen to Hughes. And Hughes! Gain of 8, first down! What a play by Hughes. Clutch catch and a tough run by David Hughes. That's his first reception for 8 yards and a huge first down. 12:30 to go in the game. So after losing 8, Seattle comes right back with 10. And a 1st and 10 on the Cincinnati 34. Split backfield, Zorn under center. We're going to go play action fake, run counter, Smith. Trap right. Smith picks up 4 yards. Good tough running there by Smith. Brought down by Reggie Williams. Tackle number 3. The clock goes tick, tick, tick on the Cincinnati season. Still 11:53 to go, though. Seattle 16, Cincinnati 14. Playoff game, Riverfront Stadium. Should be a 3-point lead, but Norm Johnson missed the extra point after the Largent touchdown. Or after the Zorn touchdown, excuse me. All right, 2nd and 6. ball on the Bengal 30. Let's go use. Screen to use. Incomplete. As Ray Griffin jumped the route and deflected the ball away, and it brings up 3rd and 6. A field goal attempt here, if we stayed at this current distance, is only a 30% chance of success for Norm Johnson. Carr will come in for Johns at the lower portion of the screen at wideout. So 3rd and 6. Let's go short and quick to Carr. And their team is short and quick to Carr. At least that's how Zorn reads it. Let's go draw to use. Here's the draw, and Hughes gets nothing. He loses to, in fact, big hit by Leclerc. That's Jim Leclerc's 6th tackle, and it brings up 4th and 8 on the Cincinnati 32. Field goal attempt from here with the weather conditions is only 18% for Norm Johnson. If we punt the ball, we're not really gaining anything. 4th and 8. If we punt and we punt to the sideline, it's 21 yards. Pooch punts 17. And that's if he actually gets it there. He could mispunt it. 4th and 8. I really regret trying to go over the top on 2nd and inches now. 4th and 8. We're going to go for it. Hughes and Smith will stay in the block. They're probably going to have Largent double teamed. Let's go short slant. We need 8 yards. We're going to go Metzelar's the tight end on the short slant. Yep, we're going for it. Max protect. First down! What a clutch throw by Zorn and catch by Metzelar. We had we had 2 running backs staying in for the blocking, and it's 1st and 10 on the Cincinnati 24. 10:22 to go in the game. That's Metzelar's 3rd reception for 25 yards. Tackle by Robert Jackson. Tackle number 3 for the Bengals. Robert Jackson. That was huge. And we're going to take Smith out and bring Ivory in. And we're going to take David Hughes out and bring Theodis Brown back in. Give them a breather. Largent at 97. We're going to keep him on the field. Carr. Horace Ivory. Let's look at screens. We're going to go screen to Ivory. Incomplete. Zorn and Ivory couldn't connect up. Bad pass. Harris leap to disrupt that play. Put a lot of pressure, Edwards did, on Zorn. So 2nd and 10. Ivory on the dive. And Ivory picks up 3 yards. They'll bring up 3rd and 7. 9:35 to go in the game. Seattle 16, Cincinnati 14. Field goal attempt from here for Norm Johnson. 57% chance of success. Theodis Brown will come out, and Sherman Smith will come back in. Smith. Screen to Smith on the 3rd and 7. It's connected up, but brought down in the backfield by Leclerc. That is a 3-yard loss. Tackle number 7 for Jim Leclerc. It now brings up 4th and 10 on the Cincinnati 24. This would be a 41-yard field goal for Johnson. 60% chance of success. I think we got to attempt it at 60% chance of success. And here comes Norm Johnson. He has missed an extra point. Let's see if he can make amends for it. As with the wind conditions, it's not 60% chance. Well, maybe with the wind conditions, they have it at 53.8. You can see that as his card comes up. The holder's Craig. Special plays. Do we have a fake field goal? No. Fake reverse. Delayed draw. Yeah, see, it dropped to 54%. Initially, it had 60%. Oh, because he lost 3 yards. That's why. And they didn't calculate it in until I clicked on it. Okay. So it's 50. Again, 60.2. I'm very confused here. You know what? We're going to go for the field goal. And Johnson nails it! He right down the middle. 41 yards, straight and true. The Seahawks 19, Cincinnati 14. The Bengals trail by 5 with 8:10 left in this playoff game at Riverfront Stadium. Retro replay 1982. Unbelievable. He misses the extra point and he makes the 41-yard field goal. We'll take it. Johnson will kick deep. The deep man for the Bengals, Verser. The short men are Tate and Fuller. Here's the kickoff. And here comes a return. Verser with a return of 14. Tackled by Simpson. It'll be 1st and 10 with 8:03 to go in the game on the Cincinnati 26-yard line. Ken Anderson brings out the offense. Split backfield of Johnson and Griffin. Wideouts, Curtis and Collinsworth. The tight end, Dan Ross. We're going to play a 3-3 nickel. 3-3 nickel. Zone. Basic. Anderson back to pass over the middle. He hits Ross. That's his 6th reception on the medium cross. He now has 99 yards. 1st and 10 at the Cincinnati 40. I formation for the Bengals. 7:53 to go in the game. We'll go to a 3-4. Defensive line in. Zone. Basic. And Anderson is brought down. Tuo Asasopo on the sack. He's had a huge game, Manu. It's 2nd and 15. 7:08. The clock goes tick, tick, tick on the Cincinnati Bengals season here. Cincinnati goes with 3 wideouts, 1 tight end, and Johnson behind Anderson in the backfield. We're going to go 4-2 nickel. Give him a different look. 4-2 nickel. Zone. Pass. Anderson back to pass. And he can't connect up with Kreider. Well covered by Justin. Brings up 3rd and 15. 6:26 to go here in the game. Cincinnati trailing by 5. They have the ball in their own 35. I formation, 3 wideouts. We're going to go to a 3-3 nickel now. Again, switch up the look. Going to move our defensive line in. Again, we're going to play zone pass. Anderson back to pass. The screen to Pete Johnson. He's brought down after a 3-yard gain. A very good hit by Bruce Schultz. That's tackle number 2. And it's 4th and 12. And here comes the Cincinnati punt team with 6:19 to go in the game. We will put the punt return on. Here's the punt. Let it roll. We will return it. Here comes a return. A return of 11 as Griffin pancakes John. Excellent hit by Griffin. A punt of 49 yards for Pat McNally. He now has 3 punts, averaging 44.3 yards. Seattle will start their drive 1st and 10 on their own 24. 5:41 left in this ball game here at Riverfront Stadium. The upset-minded 5-4 Seattle Seahawks 19, finished second in the AFC West in the retro replay. And the 8-1 Central Division AFC champion Cincinnati Bengals 14. As Hughes will come back in for Smith. We're going to go dive play to Ivory. Ball's given to Ivory. Gain of 3, 2nd and 7. And we're going to slow down the offense here, folks. So it's 2nd and 7. The clock's running. Now we're going to go play action fake. Play action fake, medium fly to Carr. And Carr's not open, but Zorn dumps it down to Hughes. And that is a huge gain. What a catch and run by Hughes. He now has 2 receptions for 36 yards. Ivory coming off the field. He's shaken up. He'll be out for about 10 plays. Wow, that was very clutch by Jim Zorn, reading the defense, dumping it to his running back David Hughes, who runs for a tremendous play after the catch. It's 1st and 10 in Cincinnati territory at the 45-yard line. Clock is running. Oh, clock is stopped on the injury, excuse me, to Ivory. I want to see how many yards Hughes actually picked up. Hughes at the 28. With an opening, he cuts back at the 40, missed tackle, gain of 28. That was a very big play. So in the backfield now is Smith and Hughes. We're going to go run counter, play action fake, run counter, Smith, trap left. And Smith, a tough 2 yards, tackled by Browner. That's Ross Browner's 7th tackle for the Bengals. Clock running. 4:39 to go in the game. Again, we're going to slow this clock down. Seattle with a 5-point lead, 19-14 with 4:39 to play, and the clock is running. Second and 8. Play action fake. Draw. Hughes. And there goes Hughes, and he only picks up 2 as LeClaire drags him down from behind. Hughes had an opening for a split second, but thanks to LeClaire and his 8th tackle, it brings up a 3rd and 6 with 3:51 to go in the ball game here, folks. Current Seattle drive, 4 plays, 35 yards. 1:50 taken off the clock. Well, we're going to go to Steve Largent on this. Short hitch to Largent. First down! Gain of 8. That's Largent's 10th catch for 141 yards. Jim Zorn now 29 out of 41 for 352 yards. And a touchdown. He has thrown for a touchdown and run for a touchdown. 3:05 to go as the clock is going tick, tick, tick on the Cincinnati Bengals season. We're going to go Hughes. Trap right. Hughes is smothered. Only a gain of 1. Bo Harris is credited with his 10th tackle for the Bengals. 2:20 to go, and we will not run a play. We'll bring it down to the 2-minute warning. So with 2 minutes left in this game, the upset-minded 5-4 Seattle Seahawks, who finished 2nd in the AFC West in this retro replay, have a 5-point lead over the Central Division champion Cincinnati Bengals, who finished 8-1. It's 19-14 Seahawks, 2nd and 9. 2 minutes left. Cincinnati and Seattle both have their 3 timeouts. I believe the Bengals will start calling them. And we're going to go 2nd and 9. Smith. Let's look trap. Let's look trap left. Trap left. Trap left with Hughes. He picks up 3 tough yards. And the Bengals use their first timeout with 1:53 left in the game. A field goal attempt here by Norm Johnson has a 32% chance of success. Third and 6. Short and quick to Largent. And it's a first down! Largent with his 11th reception now has 150 yards, gain of 9 to Mr. Automatic Steve Largent. Zorn now 30 completions out of 42, 361 yards. And there's only 1:44 left in this game. Cincinnati calls timeout. 1st and 10 on the Cincinnati 20. We're going to go run safe. Stay in bounds. Use trap left. They're keying that. We're going to stick with it. There goes Hughes. No gain. Stopped at the line of scrimmage. Tackle by Jim LeClaire. That's tackle number 9 for LeClaire. The clock is running. Cincinnati is not calling timeout. We're going to go into the slowdown. So they're saving their timeout for what? I don't know. It's 2nd and 10. 1:37 in running. The clock is. And again, we're going to keep the run safe, stay in bounds. We're going to go run counter. Smith. Trap right. And Smith, gain of 2, and Cincinnati uses their last timeout with 52 seconds to go. And it's now 3rd and 8 on the Cincinnati 18. And due to the weather conditions from this close, Norm Johnson's field goal attempt is only 61% chance of success. Ivory is available, and Horace Ivory, is it Horace Ivory? I don't think it's Horace Ivory. Where's Ivory? Oh, he's already back in the game. It is Horace Ivory, the former Patriot. Horace Ivory is available. So we're going to take Hughes out, and we're going to put Smith up top in the split backfield. We're going to stay in bounds, run safe. Run safe is very important. Ivory, they're going to be keying this. Off tackle left. Ivory is smothered for no gain. The clock is running. I think I'm going to click timeout. I'm not going to call timeout. I want to see something. We're going to bring it down to 6 seconds. So we let the clock run down to 6 seconds. We call timeout. There's 6 seconds left in the game. Seattle, who I'm coaching, leads by 5, 19-14, as we look to upset Cincinnati here in Riverfront Stadium. We're going to bring out our field goal team. And here's Norm Johnson with the field goal attempt. And it's good! It is good. There's only 2 seconds left on the clock. Seattle will win this game 22-14, as there's no 2-point conversion even if they run this thing all the way back in 1982. Excellent, excellent. And we will squib kick. And that's the ball game, folks. So Seattle comes into Cincinnati and upsets the Central Division AFC champions. The 8-1 Bengals fall to the 5-4 Seattle Seahawks, 22-14. Seattle will advance in the playoff bracket. Cincinnati, well, they'll just stay home. What a ball game it was. Player of the game, most likely, I'm giving it to Jim Zorn. Let's go to the box score. Bear with me one moment as I bring up another screen in OBS. Window capture, excuse me. There it is. Okay. And let's fit that to the screen. What a ball game. I finally beat the computer. I lost the first 2 games of the computer in the playoffs. Very close, very fun. I suggest you check them out. And let's go to edit, transform, fit the screen. There we go. Let's go to drive summary to start it out. Actually, let's go to player stats. So before I do that, let me thank the people who jumped in the chat. D. Scott Howard, thank you very much. And Eric from Higher Ground Gaming. Check out Higher Ground Gaming with Eric. Greatly appreciate both you gentlemen taking some time out in the day to spend it with me. This is a very fun game. If you're watching and you enjoyed it, please hit the like button. If you're not a subscriber and you'd like to, subscribe and share. And feel free to jump in the chat next time. Alrighty, Jim Zorn, I'm giving him player of the game. 42 attempts, 30 completions. He threw for 361 yards. A touchdown pass to Steve Largent. And he also ran for a touchdown. Player of the game. Kenny Anderson, 18 of 21, 180 yards. He did throw a pick, and he did have 2 touchdown passes. So Largent's quarterback rating, 105.4. Anderson, 114.3. Rushing, in total, Seattle, 25 rushes for 76 yards. Their leading rusher was Zorn, the quarterback, on scrambles. 4 rushes for 26 yards. But they did average 3 yards a carry, and it kept Cincinnati enough off balance. But it was just Zorn and Largent were just tremendous. For Cincinnati, 19 carries for 90 yards, 4.7. And it was Pete Johnson, the leading rusher, 15 carries for 69 yards. And then Kenny Anderson had the quarterback on 2 scrambles for 21 yards. The leading receiver in the game, Steve Largent, 11 receptions. He was targeted 13 times, had 150 yards, 13.6 yards per catch. And he had a touchdown. His long was 33. And Smith on screens, 90 yards. So Seattle's passing game was absolutely outstanding. Leading receiver for the Bengals, yardage-wise, was Dan Ross, the tight end, 6 receptions. He was targeted 6 times. He caught all 6 passes for 99 yards. Touchdown catches by Johnson and Curtis. Let's go to the turnovers. Wish you could just go to defensive stats. Can you do that? It's very cumbersome to bring the... There we go. All right. Interceptions. Harris had one for Seattle. 13-yard return. They also had a huge fumble recovery. That's it. No interceptions by Zorn. So let's go to the team stats. Seattle, 24 first downs. Cincinnati, 16. Seahawks, 1 sack. And Cincinnati, 1 sack. Seattle had 2 fumbles. Cincinnati had 1 fumble. Turnovers, 1 and 2, as I stated. Time of possession, and here it is. This is how Seattle won the game. 35, plus putting more points on the board, obviously. Seattle's time of possession, 35 minutes and 47 seconds. Over 10 more minutes. Cincinnati, 24 minutes and 13 seconds. Net offense for Seattle, 429 yards. Cincinnati, 265. So, on that note, folks, let's quickly go to the drive summary. Cincinnati got on the board first. 3 plays. Not the drive summary, the scoring summary. Here we go. Cincinnati got on the board first, 5:04, first quarter, left in the first quarter. 12-yard pass from Anderson to Curtis, breach kick. They went up 7-0. Seattle came back at 7:59 in the second quarter. Zorn with a 15-yard run on the scramble, and the Johnson did make that extra point, so it was 7-7. And then with a minute 23, is that right? No. Or is that the time of the drive? Anyway, Cincinnati came back in the second quarter, a 3-yard pass to Pete Johnson, and the extra point by Breach made it 14-7. Seattle thought they tied it up on a Zorn 33-yard pass to Largent, but Norm Johnson missed the extra point, and they trailed by 1, 14-13 at the half. But then Seattle would score 3 consecutive times in the second half and put the ball game away. Johnson made a 31-yard field goal, a 41-yard field goal, and a 35-yard field goal. For the final score, Seattle comes in to Riverfront Stadium and it upsets the Cincinnati Bengals, the Central Division AFC champions, the 8-1 Bengals, 22-14. This is Al Red Sox fan saying thank you very much. Take care till next time. Health and happiness. Bye-bye and God bless. And remember to check out Higher Ground Gaming with Eric, Mr. Brody, and Miss Mags, a wonderful channel. Bye-bye. God bless.